Two big takeaways are, so one, Watson, not only the matchup guy, but they just had no vertical threat. That was big on the early downs. I'd also say this, RC, my tape was very similar on that third down situation. I think there was another moment where Jordan Love's lack of willingness to be a scrambler showed up. I mean, they played Minnesota two-man, so two deep safety, man underneath like RC's tape, so consistently. One of the things as a quarterback that you want to do against that stuff is take off because no one accounts for you.
Take off.
And I would just be like, take off. Pay attention to that on the back half of obviously Week 18, but the playoffs is more teams in those pass down situations playing that two-man coverage. And if Jordan Love really wants to hurt it, he's going to have to say, I'll take off and run.
Then, Dan?
I don't know. I don't know why
Dan,
he won't. I don't know why.
Have they said, like, be careful, don't do that until it really matters? I mean, it matters now, but you know what I mean? Are they saving it?
I don't think so, but part of it is RC's point when he showed those five guys up front and some of the, Marcus knows this, these twists and stunts. Teams do that to try to, take away some of the running lanes.
Deter you. Yep.
It's also your offensive line's got to be ready for it. And so your offensive line wants to try to create some seams when they see that. It's just something for everyone to pay attention to into the playoffs. Yeah. If teams are going to play two-man versus that offense,
I think it's a great point. I think it's a great point because I think he needs to do it early. I think he needs to do it early in games. Make teams pay for not account for him, because eventually it is what pays dividends for you later. Kind of the opposite of what we saw the Commanders do with Jaden Daniels.
Especially because they don't have a killer one-on-one guy. They got really good pieces, but they don't have that person that's going to wear out coverage like that.
Yeah, I think I'm so happy they brought this up because it's what I felt when I was watching the game. I didn't write it down and I didn't talk about it. I think it was Brady or someone who kind of talked about Jordan Love, that he's mobile, but he doesn't really move in the way that we see some of these other quarterbacks doing. And it is interesting because you do see how it can kind of hold back this team. And Jordan Love, I mean, seemingly is quick enough and elusive enough. And I don't know if it was because of his injury, and I'll be totally honest, like, I don't even remember now at this point, like, especially when he went on his big run last season, how much did he use? It's like, obviously, no, he's not running like he's like a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, but it does seem like he just doesn't want to in this moment, that he's not trying to, like, because I think it could actually pay dividends just for him to kind of pick up 5 yards here, 6 yards here, 4 yards here. Again, just get that positive yardage, just getting a 3rd and 3, a 2nd and 5, just doing any of these little things that I think would, again, put extra pressure on the defense. And we already know the way how Jordan Love plays and his aggressive throwing style already puts a lot of pressure on the defense and a lot of angst on the defense, that if you now can kind of take some of these easy yardage gains, I just think that gives another dimension that someone like Matt LaFleur would also. I think he's a good enough offensive mind. I think he's a great enough offensive mind that I think that he would be able to kind of really use that to his advantage to kind of pick apart defenses, really expose that when defenses try to go out of their way to contain it. I just think it adds another layer and another dimension. And I wonder if it was because of his initial injury, and if he's a little more hesitant, or if they told him, hey, we want to minimize this, or if he kind of got drilled, hey, you got to protect yourself during the regular season. It's all about the playoffs. Like, I don't know, honestly. And that's why I was just kind of curious. Like, I really, for the life of me, can't remember what it was like last season, in those final 8, 9, 10 games, how much he used his legs. So Packers fans, definitely let me know, because I think last year I was so much more interested in just trying to figure out who the heck Jordan Love was, to be like, what am I watching right now? And quite frankly, also riding that hype train with what he did, that I don't have a strong feeling of if that added or took away from his game last season, and if it's more out of the ordinary that it's not there right now, or if it is there right now, or if it was something that he either just didn't do last year because it just didn't need to, or just why there's an aversion to kind of not doing it. It is interesting, and it is something that stood out to me watching, especially back to back, when you watch the Packers Vikings game, and then after that the standalone primetime game was the Falcons and the Commanders, and you see the elusiveness of Jaden Daniels. And again, to be clear, I'm not saying that I want Jordan Love to be moving like Jaden Daniels, but when you see Jaden Daniels go up against Michael Penix, and you can see the lack of mobility of Penix. Like, if you're talking about a spectrum, Penix is more like Jordan Love than Jaden Daniels, and it's a kind of a problem. You could see it's kind of like cement cleats. Like, you can just see like them get swallowed up more and have it just kind of just not be what you want it to be. You know, you just can't turn it into positive yardage, and you could see that it's an absolute elite cheat code when you have like someone like Jaden Daniels. And again, to be very clear, like, that's why, you know, mobility is on such a spectrum, where it's like you have the Lamar Jackson, the Jaden Daniels, but then you have someone like even like a Patrick Mahomes, who a little bit more recently has he kind of tried to scramble for positive yards, but really the last couple of years he used his mobility more to just kind of escape and not necessarily rip off runs, because he does want to protect himself way more. He's not trying to run like Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen is more of like, I'm going to barrel through you. Jalen Hurts, he will get flush out of the pocket and will run and make throws on the run, but like, he's definitely not the type of quarterback like Lamar or Jaden, where he's now going to scramble kind of backwards in a way to try to buy himself time and then either rip off a run or throw the ball down the field. Like, he's more of kind of like, I'm going to do like an RPO designed run for myself and take off and also kind of like, you know, take a couple hits, or my mobility is just going to be kind of like, I'm going to like really roll out to my right or my left, or, you know, whatever, and make a throw on the run. So again, it's like, it's all kind of different levels of it. And yeah, I would like to see more of that out of Jordan Love. And if anyone has, like I said, more insights into that, or because that's why they should have asked Dan Orlovsky, like, why are you not doing it? And like, they're like, I don't know, because it does feel like something where you're just kind of like, what are you doing here? And I think he moves within the pocket pretty well. And again, you know, he wants to throw, you know, he wants to let it rip, but I do think that this you know, this aspect would benefit the Packers significantly, quite frankly, significantly. If Michael Penix was like 10% more mobile, 5% more mobile with the Falcons versus the Commanders, they win that game. They win that game. Just something as simple as just him being able to kind of, you know, move out of the pocket and make a throw one extra time. Again, it's a difference between winning and losing. It's a difference between converting that third down or fourth down and moving the chains and having a whole nother set of downs to work with. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers? And, you know, I guess his lack of mobility, for loss of a better way to phrase it. Do you think it's like a problem? Do you think it's something that they're holding back on purpose, or that it's just not part of his game? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.